Before I get started with this story, let me give a shout out to my patron, Jason, on Patreon for sending this story to me. And this story right here is like poetically ironic. Whew, I can't believe I actually said that. Considering what is going on here. And before I get into it, doesn't the one on the left look like a 80s crackhead with that hair? He just looks like an 80s crackhead. But anyway, you have these two POSs on your screen right now, both ages 16 and, one is 16 and, no, I'm sorry, one is 17, because the person that they went after was 16, excuse me. One is named Noel Garcia Jr., and the other one's name is Rance Bolsick. Noel, he's Hispanic, and Rance is PC. And on Halloween, these two decided that they were going to dress up as Klansmen and terrorize one of their black schoolmates. Now, here's the kicker. This happened on Halloween, which was of course, the end of October. Here we are at the end of December when I'm recording this video, and they're just now indicting both of them. My question is, where was all of this 2 months ago? So they were just walking around scot-free for 2 months, is what you're saying. You're just now indicting them. I wonder what reasoning they're going to give as to why they're just now indicting them. So I'm going to go ahead and read this article. Two students who allegedly dressed up, before I go any further, so much for that black and brown coalition, right? Two students who allegedly dressed up as Klans members for Halloween have been indicted on charges of an assault on a black teen in Woodsboro, Texas. If found guilty of the crimes, both of the 17-year-olds could face up to 10 years in prison. According to KRIS 6 News, a Refugio County grand jury indicted Noel Garcia Jr., who was Hispanic, and Rance Bolsick, who was white, on Thursday, December 16th, with 2 third-degree felony charges engaging in organized criminal activity and tampering with evidence, after authorities said they attacked the 16-year-old black boy with a stun gun on October 31st and later burned the costumes they were wearing during the assault. The boys, both football players at Woodsboro High in the southeast Texas town, dressed as Klan members when they terrorized the victim with the electroshock weapon, authorities say. Thus, both Garcia and Bolsick, 2 indictments will include hate crime enhancement. Another person, a teenage girl, was mentioned in the indictment as an accomplice. She is said to have recorded the incident from a cell phone camera and assisted the teens in burning the clothing. However, she has not been charged. Why not? She's an accomplice. And how much you want to bet she's PC? And we'll throw on another one, since this one up here is Hispanic. She might be one of him. Throw her ass up in there. She's an accomplice. She recorded it. The only thing I can say is that they were smart enough not to put it on the internet. Because if it was, we would have been heard about this, maybe. The Texas Monthly reports that all of the 4 students involved in this case, the 2 boys, the girl, and the victim, attend the Woodsboro High School. The victim actually plays on the same football team as Garcia and Bolsick. Texas Monthly Reports has a 1-minute video of the attack from a cell phone the girl is filming. The footage is said to have showed the victim trying to get away from his attackers. The victim says, "That's not funny. Stop. If you say their names, they're going to tase you," the girl warns. The noise from the taser can be heard as she continues to get closer. "Surround him," the girl instructs Garcia and Bolsick. "Surround him." Now listen to that. These two dressed up as Klans members to attack this black teen, but the one who was literally guiding them through this, and I guess you can say coaching this whole thing, is the chick who's recording it, who has not been charged yet, and we don't know her identity. Why protect her? She's the one that's literally instigating this whole thing. She's enjoying this. Chill, the black boy priest trying to dodge the boy dressed in a white sheet and handling the device. KKK, the unnamed girl, proclaims before instructing one to get on this side of him and saying to the other, "Get on that side." The girl starts to giggle loudly. When I read that, it reminds me of that picture of that little white girl who was looking up at a lynched black man, smiling, showing all 32 teeth. While he not so much laid, while he was hanged from a tree, while he was lynched from a tree. And some of y'all know what picture I'm talking about. It's from way, way back in the day. The black teen is shocked once by one of the hooded figures before the video ends. The victim's attorney, Matt Manning, said, "I'm heartened in so far as this indictment is proof positive that at least the citizens of the grand jury in Refugio County saw that the evidence was indisputable, saw that what my client said what happened did in fact happen, and they are now going to bring to account at least 2 of those people who were involved in that crime." They need to go after her too and put her face up on the Summer Jam screen. Not just them, because she recorded it. So that shows you how dumb she is. Had she not recorded this incident, it would have been like a he say, she say type of thing. But they basically have evidence. That's why they most likely got indicted. It remains unclear if the 16-year-old girl has been or will be arrested, Manning states. Another white teen who was trying to intervene also appears at times in the video near the black boy. Manning, as reported by Crossroads Today, says that 6 other people also claim to have been harassed by this same group of teens. The Woodsboro ISD Superintendent Ronald D. Seegers Jr., who represents the school district, says that the 2 teens are students said in a press release posted on Facebook that he was disappointed in their behavior while absolving the school from the disturbing acts of the 2. It should be of the 3. Do not leave her out of this. I don't care if we don't know her name or her face. Leave them in it. He wrote, "While we are deeply disappointed that any of our students might find this type of behavior unacceptable, the district cannot discipline students for this type of conduct when it occurs off campus." Did you hear that? They said they can't properly discipline them. So that's probably what explained why it took so long to indict them, because it didn't happen on campus. That is a stupid rule. And I've heard that so many times when it comes to incidents such as these or the like, where a student of the school or students of the school will commit an act like this or commit a crime and say, "Oh, we can't do anything because it happened off campus." It doesn't matter. It happened with your students who go to your school every single day. I don't care if it happened off campus. That is a stupid rule. That's probably why they were walking around free all this time. Seegers noted that the school will provide counseling for any student impacted by the event. Since the indictment, the district has released another statement. Regardless of the advancement of any criminal case against any Woodsboro ISD student, the district positions remain unchanged. The alleged conduct was reprehensible. Woodsboro ISD remains committed to ensuring that activities like those alleged to have occurred on Halloween do not take place in our schools, and we are working both on our campus and our community to teach our students that racism and violence have no place in Woodsboro, Texas. That's funny they say that, considering Texas is a haven for racism as a whole, not just in Woodsboro, but the entire state, no matter what town, city, or county, or municipality, whatever the case may be. It's no shock or surprise to anyone that Texas has a deep-seated, rooted level of anti-black racism and dubbed as running rampant in that entire state. Manning has criticized the school for their off-the-campus position, which I just did, calling them out, allowing the 2 boys to participate in a football game a week after the assault, which means they 9 times out of 10 knew what was going on, but because it happened off campus, they say, "Oh, we can't do anything about that." You know what that basically tells me? That a student can be terrorized off campus of the school that they attend by other students who attend the school while it's happening off campus, and the schools will do absolutely nothing about it. If this thing was not recorded, we wouldn't even know the story exists. Like I told you, this happened on Halloween, October 31st. It is now December 26th, almost 2 months exactly later since this happened, and they're just now getting indicted. Let's continue. In a press conference in November, Manning called the 2 students' actions heinous, inexcusable, and disgusting. He needs some more adjectives. For you to dress up as a Klansman, you have a specific intent of terrorizing, the attorney said. That's not an accident. That's not kids being kids. That's not boys being boys. That's not hazing or high school hijinks. High school hijinks are egging someone's house, not dressing up as a Klansman and tasing them. Garcia and Bolick now sit in a Refugio County jail with a $10,000 bond over their heads as they await trial. Something tells me they can easily get out of that one if their parents want them out bad enough. If their parents want them out bad enough, they'll do it. But if their parents feel like they need to learn a lesson, let their ass stay right there. Because it's nothing for 10%. Now, this is $10,000 bond. I don't know if it didn't mention if it was for both of them or if it was just for one of them. But either way, let them rot for right now. This is now I'm intrigued with this story. And how many times have we heard Halloween stories where you have PC and their co-colonizing cohorts, such as this brown individual to the right, do or dress up in certain figures and just say, oh, it's just Halloween. That's not just Halloween. There's so many costumes and so many people you could be for Halloween, but this is not one of them. And it should not be taken lightly. All the stories we hear about when Halloween comes around and you have people dressing up in blackface and all types of stuff like that, that's not going to fly. And like I said, this story practically was buried for 2 months until they finally announced they were going to indict them. And that's all because the silly skank recorded it and they got a hold of the video. And they could not turn a blind eye to that. But the school definitely ain't shit either for saying, oh, this happened off of school grounds, so we can't hold them responsible. I'm so glad that the attorney for the victim actually came out and called them out on that. And two, that they're bypassing whatever the school is doing and saying we're going to take matters into our own hands and we're going to hit them with these charges. And because that video has shown everything, especially with them dressing up in them Klans robes or them sheets, they enhanced it to a hate crime because that's exactly what it was. And they still need to get the female accomplice. Do not let her slide, because if anything, like I said before, and based on the verbiage that came from her in the video that they have obtained, she's the one that was instigating this whole thing and basically telling these guys right here in the picture what to do and how to do it. And she was laughing. She was entertained by this black boy being tased by these two knuckleheads in these Klan sheets, which lets me know she probably comes from a home where they probably have a couple of sheets in their closet. She might have one too. Now, here's the other thing. These are teenagers, 16 and 17 years of age, which means they were all born in the early 2000s. And they know what Klans robes look like. Don't let people sit up there and tell you and try to fool you and insult your intelligence, which is one of my biggest pet peeves. Those of you who have been following me know what it is. Don't let them sit up there and tell you that the younger generation is so far advanced with their line of thinking when it comes to something like this. You had 3 teenagers. As far as I'm concerned, the girl was white, as far as I'm concerned, until they produce a picture. Otherwise, in my eyes, she's a white chick. She's a white girl. You have the obvious PC teen on the left and the brown one on the right. Now, here's the thing. Didn't a couple weeks ago, you had some Latinos come out and say that they went through something called Juan Crow, which is a bunch of crap. Like, I just laugh at that. Juan Crow. Talk about unoriginality. Saying that was discrimination that they went through with white people and everything like that. Yet you have this so-called descendant of Juan Crow acting in the same way as the people that oppressed his people. Go figure. That's why they say, do not lump us in with POC. Don't do that black and brown coalition, because look at this so-called black and brown coalition. Brown collabed with PC to attack black. And this isn't the first time. This is not some recent or new phenomenon. This is something that still currently goes on to this day. And look, and again, how young they are. This is Gen Z acting like this. And who did they get it from? Most likely those who are in my generation and the generation before mine and the generation before theirs. That's all I'm saying.